Do you want to hear one of my most controversial parenting takes? Parents should not reward their kids for A's and B's. And things like honor roll should not be celebrated. Mainly because those metrics don't translate to success in the real world. Like the old saying goes, C's still get degrees. But here's the reason that I have the biggest problem with it. I don't think it's a good measure on if a student is truly successful. First, every grade is measured differently. Tests, quizzes, papers all have different weight in different classes. And there may be some kids who write phenomenal papers, but they do terrible on tests. The writing paper skill, that's going to get you way further in life than the test-taking skill. The next aspect is it's not mastery. It's just studying for that one individual test and then testing, and then that's it. When in the real world, you would be able to go and learn something, and then if there were parts that you weren't able to figure out, you would go back and relearn the parts that you didn't learn well so that you could eventually master it. Is the goal of education learning something so you can take a test, or is the goal of education learning something so that you can implement that into your daily life? A great article on this is from Forbes magazine. Sorry, C's are all you need in business. There's a bunch of great theories out there why B and C students tend to be more successful than A students, but I think that it has a lot to do with the idea that they're okay with not being in first place. They don't have the highly competitive drive to compete with everybody else because they're competing with themselves. Inventors and innovators are the ones who are going against the grain in the world, not with it. Inventors and innovators are the ones who are out there creating jobs for people. Inventors and innovators see that it's okay to fail and try again over and over again because they're not afraid of failing. They're not afraid of the risk. And if you're not afraid of the risk, then that's going to make you better in business. And I get it. A lot of people want to be the valedictorian, and a lot of people are successful after being the valedictorian, but that's because they played well in a system. They followed all the rules and went completely with the grain in order to achieve the highest goal of a system, which will likely make them good mid-level and maybe upper-level management. However, they're not going to be the ones who are taking that company and bringing it to the next level. Because up until then, they've never bucked the system and said, what happens if we just don't follow the system? Instead, they figured out how to achieve within the rails. Now, all of these people are needed in the world. We need A students, we need B students, we need C students, we need valedictorians. But I think if we take the pressure off and we allow people to fall within the system exactly where they should be, we're going to have a better understanding of what their gifts are and how they can participate in the world and succeed. I think we should also be more straight with people who are valedictorians, telling them that they're probably not going to get the same praise and accolades in the real world that they did in school. I think that can alleviate a lot of the mental health struggles that they can encounter later on in life when they're not having the success that they were so easily getting before. Grades are not a be-all, end-all metric. Putting so much weight on it for future success is probably detrimental to the people who are trying to achieve things.